Diana, in your book, you reference a global community based on shared connection. And here's a question. What do you both see as the role of church leadership in this global community based on shared connection that you've alluded to?
Wow.
Good question.
Oh dear, some bishop has popped in.
Everything you can say can and will be used against you in the ecclesiastical court of law. Is that is that what you're playing?
We got your back, Diana.
Yeah, we got your back.
One of the things that I think is really powerful about this awakening is that it's an awakening of the people. And that means that leaders are going to have to understand that they are part of a community, not above a community, and that they're not causing the awakening, but instead they can be nurturing or fostering understandings of awakening in all of the communities and the relationships around them. Is that leadership in the 21st century is embedded in the power of the people to be connected with one another. And leadership is going to look much more like Occupy Wall Street in the future than it's going to look like the old traditional chain of being from the medieval church or from the modern church. And so there's going to be a role for leadership. There has to be a role for leadership, but it's going to be leadership that's linked and decentralized and embedded in community instead of above, beyond community.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. I think that just the nature of what we're doing with Darkwood Brew is kind of reflective of what our answer to the question
Absolutely.
is that every major revolution in Christianity has been accompanied by a major technological change in terms of communication. And I think we have undervalued and underestimated the power of the internet in shaping the revolution or the awakening here, and the fact that we can actually not just simply try to broadcast our quote-unquote wisdom out to y'all, but actually create something that is an interactive thing where our viewers are actually participants in this, and not only feeding back during the program, but feeding out back during the week via Facebook and so forth, so that actually our own community becomes the leadership, shaping the very content of Darkwood Brew, which then gets transformed into small group DVDs, so that whose purpose is not to, again, broadcast our wisdom out to small groups, but actually to stimulate discussion amongst the small group people themselves, realizing that the power is in those relationships in the small groups, and that we're just simply helping to foster that communication. And then as they get more involved, they become more active in the creation of the Darkwood Brew live broadcast, and so it just becomes this amazing feedback loop and synergistic loop where we're all becoming the creators of content together. It feels like a living, breathing organism rather than that old kind of steeple thing, and here's the top and there's the bottom. Yeah.
Just to finish up the thought, Eric, is that part of the thing that happens is that Christians, when they're looking for an awakening, they look for a single individual. Where's our Martin Luther, or where's our George Whitefield, or where's our John Wesley, or whatever? And this awakening is not that. We are Martin Luther. Right. Every single person has the possibility of being the person who starts the awakening in their own community, in their own set of relationships, in their own place. And so there is not one Luther, there's millions, which is, like, to me, so amazing. And it makes it very different from awakenings in the past. And that's one of the things that I try to communicate, that energy and that passion and the risk and the fact that this is something we're all sharing as we move into the 21st century. With all the ends, we really have a new beginning. And if we do it well, we can transform the world. And I'm very excited that is really within our grasp. Yeah. But we will have to do it. We have to do it. We can't sit around and just sort of wait for some great theologian to arrive on the scene and fix it for us.